D'accord. D'accord. Là-bas, il y a une petite lumière. Voilà, la distance d'affichage est vraiment pas ouf. Hein. Ah, 50 étoiles. Un petit, ouais, je crois que c'est juste pour les trophées. Hein. Hop là. Moi, je me demande où est-ce que cette histoire nous mène. Et je pense que je vais essayer de finir le jeu quand même. Il reste qu'une heure, normalement, à peu près.
On our property, there were old abandoned pieces of a shed and car long left unused. I used to ask him all the time who those people were that left all this junk. And I'm sure he got so tired of hearing it that he made up some elaborate stories how a brown bear ate them and haunted the woods afterwards. What's funny is I think it made those people seem more real. Growing up thinking they were still hanging out like they couldn't say goodbye. I used to tell my friends how I could swear I saw spirits move near the water, and that always freaked them out. I guess it didn't bother me, because the way I saw it, they were normal people with old cars and sheds, just trying to figure out how to survive and be happy in the middle of nowhere. It was a cool thought that they didn't want to leave, but you know, I was a weird kid.
Well, you had good company since those ghosts like living in a place where they were brutally devoured.
Oh, là il y a plein d'étoiles. Moi je pense qu'en vrai ça sert à rien de les attraper les étoiles. Hein. Je vais les attraper, c'est celles que je vois, mais bon. C'est juste pour rallonger la durée de vie honnêtement. Ah, la petite boule là et une autre histoire, une autre partie de son histoire en tout cas. Ah mince, ok. Ça au moins on sait qu'il y en a 3 des petites bouboules. Ah ça c'est peut-être que ça va se... C'est fou ça, pourquoi j'arrive pas à l'attraper ce truc là? Allez ici.
Even at my most distant, at the times when I detested him the most, he kept reaching out. For a year straight, he asked me every week when we were going camping. I thought he was just dense. Eventually, to shut him up, I agreed. We carried out the worn lawn chairs from the garage, and set up a cinder block campfire at the site we'd always used behind the house. We walked down the mountain path, talking in the warm sunshine we only got a couple months of the year. Those 3 obsidian rocks shimmered alongside the shore, almost like sparklers pressed against a dark window. I'll never forget that wet stone on my feet, or how those massive mountains looked even bigger in the lake's reflection. I felt small, but grateful. As the sun set, my dad found something I hadn't seen for a long time. The tree where I'd made my first carving when I was 6. I hadn't even carved it. My dad had helped me, but I still called it my tree. Something about seeing my name there made me open up, and we talked about everything that night in that old camouflage tent. I told him how much I loved sketching and design, and how it would be a dream to study architecture in Seattle. I told him how I didn't get along with my friends much anymore, but that I didn't mind being alone. He told me he was there for me, and he joked that if all he had to do was write my name on a tree to finally get me to talk, he would have left me carved logs with novels on them in front of my room every morning. I don't know why it took me that long to realize it, but it was then I knew how much he had sacrificed for me.
Tiens. Il y a une petite étoile là-bas, mais est-ce que c'est par là qu'il faut aller? C'est quoi ça? Ah, un bateau. Enfin, une barque, plus précisément. Un PC, ok. Oh, attends, merde, là-bas j'ai loupé un truc. Ah, voilà. On arrive à un nouveau pan de l'histoire.
We were happiest underneath the evergreens. We decided it was time to finally map out the hundreds of acres we lived on just to pass the time during the summer. He was only free in the evenings, so I would spend the day wasting time on dial-up internet and sketching, and then we would rush into the woods, pen and map in hand, before evening fell. Sometimes the aurora borealis would cast a cold green glow on the mountainside, and we would finish our route underneath a twilight sky. Sometimes I was lonely during those summer days, but there was comfort in the routine.
A lot of teenagers aren't looking for the daily grind, though. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get out, to leave your childhood home. You wanted to progress, to make something of yourself.
Yeah, you're right. That house. I'm sure it's the same as how I left it. But then why does it feel so different?
I doubt you're the only adult to have looked back and asked that question.
Eh merde, putain! Hop là, ok. Hop là, ici. Ok. Hop là, petit truc bonus. Alors, merde, c'est pas où le truc. Ah, il y a une autre bouboule. Hop là. Ah, j'en étais sûr. Ça doit être les branches que j'avais vues. Et j'étais sûr que ça ferait ça si on prenait les trous boboules. Enfin, une ouverture quoi. Mais par contre, je me demande où est ce putain de faisceau. Parce que j'ai vu le faisceau lumineux. Mais je sais pas où il est. Ceci est étrange. Ah, là-bas, ok. Par contre, j'aimerais bien ne pas le perdre de vue. S'il vous plaît. Alors, par là-bas, d'accord. Merde. D'accord, donc ça va être par là-bas. Hop, là, on va passer par là et peut-être que là... Ah, là on le voit encore. Ah, il était au même endroit que la boboule. Mais il est où alors? Merde. S'il était au même endroit que la boboule à peu près, c'est-à-dire qu'il est où là? Là-haut. Là c'est trop haut je pense. Ceci est un mystère. Mais le plus intéressant c'est l'histoire quoi, merde. Laissez-moi avoir l'histoire. Putain mais si, j'espère que... Ah attends, peut-être par là. Ouais non. Ouais mais le faisceau montre ici. Ouais, donc, il monte juste là. Il n'y a pas de raison que... Bah, de toute manière, si je vois rien, je vois rien. Au bout d'un moment, c'est peut-être juste le faisceau de ce truc. Hein. Bon. Du coup, je vais rentrer. Mais bon, c'est bizarre. Ouais, je vais aller au truc des plantes là. Enfin, des sortes de racines là, ou je sais pas quoi. Qui bloquait le passage tout à l'heure. Mais qui là, normalement, devrait ne plus bloquer le passage. Peut-être qu'avec cette arme, il y a peut-être un truc, j'en sais rien. Ici, là. Genre là. Non. Ok, y'a rien. Ok. Avec cette perte de temps, on aura peut-être plus d'une heure et demie. Hein. Allez. Oh. Ah ouais, non, c'est pas le même faisceau, donc j'ai perdu du temps pour rien. Par contre, il peut pas aller un peu plus vite. Bon, vous, je vous coterai sans doute des parties, parce que sinon ça serait un peu chiant. Je vous ferai peut-être une seule vidéo, ou peut-être deux. À voir. En tout cas, avec mon mal de gorge et l'effet que je parle, j'ai vraiment besoin de boire. Là, j'ai déjà bu un demi-litre. Ah, là-bas il y a encore.
My dad built a lot of stuff in his free time. If he wasn't watching fly fishing or reading Tom Clancy novels, he was carving something. He made tons of birdhouses. Not that he was into bird watching, but I think he really missed working and adding on to the home. If he couldn't afford the time to build onto our own house, he would have to settle with watching birds move into their little homes. We kept an old mattress in the bed of that ugly yellow truck, so we would drive it deep into the woods and then watch the birds fly into their houses while the sun set. Usually it was accompanied by venison jerky or a cold Coke, but not a lot of talking, which is how we both liked it.
Ah, c'est le matelas qu'on a croisé tout à l'heure. On avait croisé le matelas par terre. Je l'avais pas relevé, hein, mais j'avais relevé dans ma tête, mais pas comme ça. Et ouais, ça doit être ça. Je me demandais si c'était... s'ils dormaient dans la rue ou autre, mais au final ils ont pas dormi dans la rue. Il y a un arbre qui a poussé ici. Non? À moins que je sois complètement devenu fou. Mais ouais, j'avais relevé le truc dans ma tête et bon, je l'avais pas relevé comme ça à l'oral. J'en voyais pas forcément tellement l'intérêt. Hop là. Hop là, comme ça. Hop, hop. Hop, hop. Hop, hop. Ah? Un loup?
The perpetrator stood nearby, unfazed, like nothing was wrong. My dad is dead, and he's never coming back, Rachel. I can tell you these stories, but I can never reminisce with him again. He can never hold a grandchild that we'll probably never be able to have. I can never talk to him again, and I'll never be able to say I'm sorry. For everything.
Genre il a dit qu'ils auront probablement jamais d'enfants et elle dit rien là. Oh oui putain, notre bébé est ici. Oh. Putain ce loup. Je vais buter ce loup. Je vais te buter toi. En fait, moi, j'interprète ça comme étant une sorte de descente aux enfers après la mort de son père. Et du coup, des enfants de la renarde. Putain con. Hop là, voilà. Hop là. Par là. J'en étais sûr. Ah, je vois le loup. Je crois. Ah non, c'était des plantes. À mon avis, quand on aura retrouvé le troisième petit, ce sera la fin. J'ai l'impression que l'arbre a grandi d'un coup, c'était un peu chelou. Voilà, la distance de vue gêne vraiment beaucoup de choses. Beaucoup l'immersion, je trouve. En tout cas, très belle musique.
need to go to bed. I just can't talk about this anymore. Good night.
Qui sait, peut-être la dernière zone.
Joseph, you can't go to sleep feeling like this. I'm sorry for everything, and I know you need space, but I'm here for you. You don't need to feel so lost. Joseph, have I ever told you what my mother was like? You know what it's like not to have a mom at home. And you know how hard that made my childhood. What helped me was watching the birds in the morning before the school bus came. I thought that my mother was one of those birds, and it made me want to be free like her. My mom taught me how to fold origami cranes while she was in the hospital, so I told myself I would fold one every day until I could fly myself. I think we both have always loved animals. And for me, that love started with a dog. Sometimes this Rottweiler would come up to our property line and wait at the fence for me, but only once in a while. I was sure to check every day immediately after school, and it usually ended in disappointment. I would even steal money from my passed out dad just so I could buy these off-brand dog biscuits. Even when she did stop by, she never went beyond the fence. Why was she so scared? I think my dad was the opposite of your dad in almost every way, except he was in the military as well. He coped with alcohol of every kind. The trailer started falling apart, he got angry, and I withdrew. More and more I became the weird, quiet kid who made lots of origami birds and carried dog biscuits around. I think we were pretty similar when it came to being the weird kids. And that same sincerity in college was one of the reasons I was so drawn to you. And worse. And at one point, I really didn't think I could survive another day with my soul still intact. I had no real friends, let alone neighbors, since we lived in the middle of nowhere. I should have talked to my teacher, but I was scared what he would do if he found out. As I waited for the school bus one morning, I walked around until I found something in an abandoned shed. Something I can't put into words. I summoned courage I didn't know I had, and I broke into my dad's room and found the key to the shed where he had locked my bike. I'll never forget that feeling of the wind rushing by my ears as the sun rose over fields of wheat. I was flying for the first time. I biked as far as my legs could take me until I found a house that felt friendly, and that felt like home. Those strangers helped me in so many ways. And if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have found my foster family. And if it wasn't for my parents, I wouldn't have met you. You have strength, Joseph, and you're not as alone as you think.
It's all just so pointless. Just waiting for life to happen. It's like having the home I always wanted is cursed out of my reach. The thought of being a parent myself. How could I do that when I couldn't even be a good son? I'm sorry. I know what you're saying. I just don't know how things will work out. These quiet hours will turn into years. We'll wonder which roads passed us by.
Then we'll forge a new road together. Besides, I discovered for myself that one fateful morning where any hopeful road leads to. There may be thorns and mist, but it always leads to the same thing.
And what's that?
Family.
I'm so glad that you're part of my family, Rachel.
And I'm glad you're part of mine.
Je pense pas qu'il y ait un bon fils en soi, ou qu'il y ait aussi de bons pères en soi. Il y a plusieurs manières. Et c'est pas parce qu'on a été un mauvais fils, entre guillemets, qu'on n'a pas été le fils qu'on aurait voulu être, qu'on ne peut pas et qu'on ne pourra pas être un bon père. C'est peut-être même l'inverse, au final. Parce qu'on va savoir, on va comprendre un peu ce que notre fils, certaines réactions ou autres, chaque personne a une vie unique, chaque personne vit les choses, vit son enfance d'une manière différente, et ça fait pas forcément une illégitimité à être parent. Je pense pas que les renards ça chasse les cerfs. Hop là, un peu de parcours comme dans Minecraft. Hop là. J'aime beaucoup cet endroit. C'est peut-être le plus bel endroit du jeu. La musique s'est arrêtée un peu brutalement. Wow. Un épisode chargé d'émotions et de couleurs. Avec cette descente aux enfers. J'espère que cette vidéo vous aura plu. On se retrouve donc la semaine prochaine pour une conclusion de la découverte. Allez, ciao.